Welcome back to another one, and today we're going to work on the engine a little bit. So what we plan on doing today is, first off, we're going to drain the oil. It's never been ran, it's just I put oil in it mainly for storage, kind of get some lubrication in it. But I'm going to drain the oil out of it, take this motor mount off, and I plan on drilling a hole for the turbo oil return, so the oil drain rather. So let's get right into it. Also pull the pan off so I can get all the chips out of it, but we'll get to that. As for the mount, so we have to drill these holes out to about 1/2 inch, and the reason for that is this mount actually needs to be lowered only a little bit, so that it can have room for the turbo manifold and the turbo and everything. So we'll get to that one later. But mount's off. Now let's do the oil. Oil's clean, but yeah, I just dropped the drain bolt in the jug, so yeah. We got a magnet though, we'll get it out. So let this sit here and drain. And next thing is gonna be pull the pan off. And a big reason why I want to pull it off too, which not only do we have to drill a hole for the oil return, but right here, about that big, well, it's about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Oh, we're spilling oil. It's actually leaking, not really leaking, just more or less kind of a low residual amount of oil on there. So yeah, we'll let that drain. So I got the bolt out of there, or drain pan bolt back in. So get that torqued down and take the oil pan off. Really, it's the next thing. And I realized timing cover bolts are in there too, so not a big deal, but just another thing to remove. And I know I could flip the engine upside down, but I mean there's still a little bit of oil in it and oil filter still on it. I don't know. It's cleaner just to leave it like this, I guess. Even though we'll still probably get a little bit of a mess going here, but we'll see. Alright, that's all of them loosened, but now we got to get it unbolted and pry it off, really. Alright, now let's hope for a somewhat easy separation here. We'll see how this goes. definitely just got to clean all that up and stick her back on, but we'll do that in a little bit. So probably not going to put the pan back on for a few days. I don't know, let it drip, let it clean up, and then next things we got to drill this hole out, get all the actual metal chips out of it, and go from there. So alright, next thing we're doing, so it's been dripping for a while, so I'm going to take the valve cover off. Well, it's unbolted, but just pop that off real quick. Let any other oil in the top end drain out into the pan, hopefully, and then double check hole location, make sure it's all good on the inside, and get ahead and drill it. So only a little bit of oil. We'll try to let it drain slow. So to show y'all, so this is on the exhaust side, the turbo side, and then the motor mount bolts in these 3 holes, and then this hole here is actually on the stock setup. That's where the manifold heat shield, the exhaust manifold heat shield, bolts into right there. So this setup will not be using that. So essentially that comes out, that little nub right there. Alright, so what we'll be using, we're doing a 1/2 inch MPT. So that is a 23/32 drill. One little trick is to cover your drill bit and tap with grease, which will really just help any chips from hopefully from falling in. And I'll probably put some grease inside the engine too. Well, nowhere to really go with that, so alright, so sorry about that, guys. Battery died, and between then and now, so we got the block drilled through, tapped the hole, and actually it had about a 1/4 inch flange that was really thin. It actually was cracking because how thin it was on the aluminum. So we cut that part out, so it's really only, it's got enough stick out on the actual flange top, so it's good, it's level, and it's screwed all the way in now. So I'll show that to y'all. But turbos, I mean, it's not mounted or anything, it's just sitting on here. But that is the AN fitting right there. It's an AN10 to 1/2 inch NPT, and I think we'll be changing that out to a 1/2 inch NPT straight to a 45 AN10 fitting. So that's just kind of in there now to fill the void. And did not explain this little situation here, I'm sure y'all have seen. So that is actually from previously we attached, or I drilled through and tapped a 3/8 NPT. Actually, I think I did explain that, but did that, and then as you can see, I don't know if you can, it should be coming out like this. Well, the hole is actually drilled like that, so little oopsie there, and that's not going to work for the turbo drain. So plugged that with an MPT fitting and sealed it, so it should be good. If it ever leaks, we can go from there. But drilled this hole today, tapped it, cleaned all the shavings and chips out of everything. I shoved towels down in the block with grease so they wouldn't just fall in the block, so should be good there. cleaned it all up, and now just waiting for the fittings to come in the mail. So hopefully in the next one we can get that all properly plumbed, the drain, and then at which point we can get the turbo manifold actually correctly bolted to the block and start plumbing everything else, get everything ready. And one other big thing we got to do, not really big, but I gotta wait to find someone. The reluctor wheel on the cam right here on the, what is that, intake cam, under high revolution for extended periods of time, which I mean we'll see what the plan of this engine is, but high revolution for extended periods of time that will actually vibrate loose. So I don't really want that to happen. It's already out, already here. So the easy fix ahead of time is to put 1 or 2 little tack welds on the reluctor wheel, and that should fix it. So once that's done, we can put the valve cover on, get the turbo all plumbed, the oil and not really coolant fittings yet, but the oil lines, and from there just really start getting everything else done. So hopefully in the next one we'll do that, and we'll go from there. See y'all later.